All right, so go ahead and write your title. Hi, guys. I hope you are doing well. This is completely different. I wish I was in the classroom going over this with you. Um, but anyways, this is the way we have it for now, and I will try to do my best to explain these topics to you, and I hope that the explanation is well understood on your side. The next topic that we're gonna go over is called factoring. So we went over the multiplying the different polynomial expressions that we worked with. We had binomials, we had binomial times a binomial, we had a binomial times a trinomial. We also did addition and subtraction, and then we also did division. So the next thing we're going to do before we move into the quadratic expressions and the quadratic functions, for the last part of the school year, we're gonna go ahead and go through something called factoring. This is actually one of my favorite topics. It's a process and very easy to understand. But at any time, if you have questions, know that I will have that live session so you guys can ask me any questions if you have any questions. Now, what I'm gonna do, if you notice here, I said part number one. I'm going to go ahead and divide the topic in different parts, because sometimes it could be given to you in a way, but sometimes it could be given to you in a different way. And I would like for you to know what to do in each case, okay? So the first part is going to cover the trinomials. They're quadratic. And so it's a quadratic expression. And I know we haven't talked about quadratic expressions and what they are, but know for now that a quadratic expression is going to have um, a variable to the second power. So it's not to the third power, it's not to the first power. It should always be to the second power for us to call it quadratic. In this case, you have three different terms. In the highest one, it's the base with an exponent of 2 to the second power. So in that case, you have that quadratic expression. And since we have three different terms, then you can call that one a trinomial. Um, Moving on with the actual process, as we go through the topic, what I would like to do is show you different methods that you can factor out. For some of you, this may be a little bit overwhelming, but what I would like for you to do, just like when we went over the multiplying and we did distributive property or we did the area model, try to decide which one is the method that's best for you. Once you choose a method and you become, proficient at it, then keep the same way and work it out the same way. Unless I tell you that that method can only happen when this is, the expression that's given to you, then you may have to learn the other way. Okay, so what is factoring, or what is a factor? Oh, what happened there? There it goes. Okay. Oops. All right, so think about, for example, like the number 20, and I have it written right here on the side. Well, factors of 20 could be 1 times 20. So if I multiply them together, it will still give me back the 20 that I started out with. 2 times 10. 3 doesn't go into it. 4 goes into it. 4 times 5. Then after 4, you go back and repeat the 5 times 4. And then you have 6 doesn't go into it, 7 doesn't go into it, 8 doesn't go into it, 9 doesn't go into it. Then you go back and do 10 times 2. And at the very end, you can say 20 times 1. So all of these things, or all of these different sets, are factors of 20. They're the ways that you can write 20 in a different way. And it's the same thing when you do a factoring and expression. I do want to go back to the multiplication when we went over the multiplication, because hopefully going back into the multiplication, you get an idea of what is it that you work with when you have an expression that's been factored. So this expression right here is a trinomial. So if I go back to the multiplication, think about this is the answer. So I'm going to go ahead and write it down. This is the answer to multiplying two binomials. So it's like you have the answer and you want to find what was the problem. So what we're going to do is work this out the opposite way. When we multiplied the binomials, we created a 2 by 2 area model, okay? And what we were doing is we were placing the binomials on the side. And then we went through and multiplied them, found the areas of each one of them. And at the end, if something could have been combined, then we put it together. If not, then we just left it alone and we just wrote it on the descending order of the exponents. So think about now you have the answer and you want to know what was it that you multiplied to be able to find this answer. So now you don't have the measurement of the length and the width. You have the area and you want to find out what was it that you multiplied to get that area. So I don't have something on the outside here and here. I have something in the inside. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and place that. And the way that I would like for you to set them up is this way here. The first term that you have should always go in the first box. Okay. So you have b squared. So you place b squared on the first box. And the way that I like to look at my boxes here is the first box, I label it number 1. You don't have to do this. I hope that as we go through the exercises, you be able to know which one's box number 1, box number 2, and so on. That's number 1, number 2. This one right here is number 3. This one right here is number 4. So my first term should always go in my first box, okay? Then what I'm going to do is place my last term. And what I like to do is put the signs in them, okay? That way I know what signs I need to be working with. Okay, so I have a positive 7 on the last one. So I'm going to write my steps right here on the side. So first thing I want to do, so place the first term in the first box. Okay. Now before you move on, and I forget to tell you this because you know I'm always all over the place the majority of the time. You want to rewrite your trinomial. In this case, you're working with a trinomial. If you're working with any other expression, you want to be able to do the same thing. But if you're working with a trinomial, you want to make sure you start with the highest exponent on your variable, then you move on, then you move on. Remember when we went over the division, it was very important for us to rearrange the expression if it needed to be rearranged, because otherwise we will not get the correct answer that we were looking for. So it's the same thing here. You want to make sure that if you have a trinomial, you always have your first term with the highest exponent listed out. All right, so you place the first term in the first box, and then step number 2, place the last term in the last box. So first one in the first one, last one, meaning let me pick a different color here. It's going to go in the last box. Let me go ahead and do this one here. That way you know I got it from there. Maybe I should change a different color on that first one. Sorry, I went ahead and marked it pink right there. It's okay though. All right, so what I'm going to do next is, so think about, what I'm trying to do right now is figure out what was it that I multiply here and here to be able to get this final